St Kilda home game tonight, which gave President Rod Butters a chance to address his guests and sponsors at the President's Dinner for the first time tonight. And he spoke about St Kilda's decision to part with Grant Thomas and move Ross Lyon into the senior coaching position. And he said it was because the gap was widening between St Kilda and other clubs heading towards a premiership. And to quote him, he says Ross Lyon knows what it takes to win a premiership with a 12-year apprenticeship under 4 premiership coaches. So that is the reason that Ross Lyon is in the coaching position this year. And Rod Butters very confident that St Kilda can win tonight as well. Stephen.
Thanks, Christy. There's Nick Riewoldt. We saw Sam Fisher, Malcolm, with the big job tonight on Brad Johnson. What a matchup that will be. Big job for Sam Fisher, and also a big job for that man, Ryan Hargrave, on Nick Riewoldt.
Just stand there, you're right.
Here's Harris on Gehrig. Should be a belter here at the Dome. It's only round 3, but both teams 1 win, 1 loss. 2-1 sounds a whole lot better than 1-2. As down she goes to start the match. Street against Ricks. Here's Del Santo. Couldn't quite trap it. Handball fired out by Baker to Harvey. Now over to Jones, the first gamer. Lots of blonde hair to half forward. Griffin managed to dish the handball out to McMahon. There's West. Good tackle on board. Turn over. Clark, Harvey. Handball over to the G-Train. Here's the perfect start for the Saints. Good ferocious tackling up forward. Caused a spill. And the Saints were rewarded, Malcolm.
Amazing. Nick Riewoldt back in the action. The kick wasn't great to him, but it tested out his hamstring, and then a series of handballs, pressure, and Fraser Gehrig kicking a goal early, as he always seems to do against the Bulldogs, one of his favourite teams.
Yes, averaging 6 goals a game in the last 3 matches against the Dogs, and what a way to start tonight.
And they do look up. Luke Ball was, I don't know if that came across how tense he was before the start of this game. He just desperately would have been loved to be out there, obviously, but he said the boys were pumped, and you can certainly feel it. Ricks in the ruck, and big job for him tonight. Big challenge against the height of Peter Street. He did ruck last year against the Western Bulldogs, but mainly he did battle with Minson in their rucking rotation. But Matthew Clark, a late withdrawal tonight, and he is the number 1 man with Barry Brooks coming in. There we go, against Street. And Michael Ricks, big challenge for him. Clark, and some space for Baker to work in here at half forward. Riewoldt and Gehrig and Kazitsky, they're all deep. Who's going to go? It's Riewoldt! Did he get a piece of it? Enough of it? No. White, still alive. Morris, some help from Harris. Oh, not a well-placed kick. Too tough it was for Kearney. Montagna nails it.
Well, that was the Dogs' worst nightmare, wasn't it, with Kazitsky, Gehrig and Riewoldt flying at the tip of the goal square, but the mistake in defence has cost them again.
Well, it has, and it'll keep costing him too, and perhaps even Cooney could have done more with that one, and he'll learn that. He can actually go back with an arm and turn his body and learn to protect himself, but the obvious start is a bright start.
Well, there's a familiar face. He's gone to the dark side. Is it easier up there or easier up here, Malcolm?
I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah, but there are some 100-point wins in there. They're nice.
Perfect start for the Saints. 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes as the Dogs go inside 50 for the first time. And a strong mark taken by Sam Fisher, who, as I said, has the job on Brad Johnson. Out wide to Baker. Not a lot on offer, so he goes sideways to Goddard. He's averaging 19 disposals and 10 marks a game in the first 2 rounds of this season. To Blake. Long kick. The target is Riewoldt, who attacks it. Well done by Gilby. Got the fist just at the last second. Spills to Power. Over to Cross. Now West to halfback. Beautiful pass to Griffin.
Good energy about the Saints so far, Blighty, although first chance really to catch our breath here and try and analyse the game.
Tell you what, by the way, it's very warm.
Great run.
On the overlap is Sam Power, who's enjoyed a very good start to the year. Now, where's the free? It's down on the forward line, is it? And it is a Bulldogs free. And it's going to Brad Johnson.
Mark here.
Against Lee Fisher. Brad Johnson.
No, you can't grab on.
Did kick
You
6
grabbed him.
in round 21 last year, but the Dogs were soundly beaten by 50 points. Kicked 8 goals in round 1, just 2 last week. He started well. Started very well.
Seen a lot of that, Anthony, haven't we, with the first 3 rounds? A lot of off the ball, a long way off the ball holdings, and that extra umpire's really doing his job now, isn't he?
And it was Sam Fisher, rather than Lee, who actually infringed on that occasion.
So Brad Johnson, it's his first for the night. And already this season shoots up to 11 goals. Okay. 11th goal of the season already for Brad Johnson, courtesy of a free kick a long way off the ball. Ricks and Street. Street fed it out nicely. Good tackle.
Ball's out.
Spills free. Harvey the little soccer.
Ball's out.
Another little quick kick by Harvey. Fed it inside his 50, but it's all Dogs here. West. Out to Hargrave. Kicks to the wing. In front was Higgins. No mark. Here's Montagna. Back to Riewoldt. Peppering in with ball. And he gets the front position and takes a solid mark.
Mark and high, same time. Watch the spoil on the head, okay?
So Hargrave gets a warning as he kicks towards Gehrig. In fact, over his head in the end, and the mark was taken by Kazitsky. And he will line up on a very tight angle, but he's on his correct side. I suggest he'd probably run around here and improve the angle. There's the spoil. Nice little knock on the scone, made him earn it.
It's going to be a tough one for Hargrave.
Well, it is. He can keep doing that all day because Nick's not going to duck his head. Hit the ball.
Kazitsky. That's a shocker.
That's a shocker, but you know what? Riewoldt, Gehrig and Kazitsky have all touched the footy now.
And remember that day at the MCG a couple of years ago when Kazitsky came back and really tore it up against the Western Bulldogs. So there'd be a bit in the memory bank for Rodney Eade to overcome and the Dogs.
Remember what happened here to Kazitsky last year too, at Telstra, and that terrible incident.
Yes, well, that's something else to be in the memory bank, isn't it? 2 goals to 1. Early stages, Riewoldt dominating in the air, both in the forward line and on the wing on this occasion. Kazitsky makes his move. And it was a desperate lunge. The dome looks in magnificent condition, doesn't it?
And as I said, it's very warm down there tonight. It's
you can see
well in the mid-20s.
You see footprints when they're left behind. That's how superb Nick the grass is in at the moment. Something we haven't said a lot about this place over the years. Street gets it down to Clinton Jones. Looks like a St Kilda player, doesn't he? Del Santo, gee, flirted with the boundary line again. The central ball. Gilby had some help back there from Hargrave. Here's Jones trying to get clear. Clark. It's been a very good start for St Kilda, but Clark just astray. Was terrific in round 1, not so good last week. Margin 7.
Lindsay Gilby does the kicking in game 100. Not the best of kicks, but it finds his target in the end, Cooney, and he's away. To half forward again, poor disposal. Taken by Attard, backs himself. Lucky not to give away free kick. Cooney with the interception. Free kick. Driven to the ground, gets the free.
Let go on the line, Brendan, on the line.
Too far out to score. There's the lead from Johnson. Now he doubles back and switches to the other side. Beautifully done.
Oh, that's great. That is superb work. Great call, Stephen. I mean, you've read it beautifully. Led hard one way. A lot of blokes lead one way and just make a token lead, and so they never. He's come back from the other side after leading hard. That's just hard work off the footy.
So Brad Johnson for goal number 2.
No player ever wants to miss a goal, but there are some important kicks in footy. And Saints are really on top here. And the Bulldogs, just a big miss.
Not reflected on the scoreboard at the moment, is it? 6-3 is the inside 50s. Saints by a goal. Graham important in their structure as well. And Fisher getting away from Brad Johnson. No one in sight. So let's fly to full forward. They got it in there quick. Milne, the unlikely flyer. Thompson, hard man to move. Able to get it out. Fiora's been one of their best in the first 2 rounds. Got it, trying to make a mark here early. And he's made it in the best way possible. He's pretty fired up too.
Gee, if ever a man wanted to kick a goal, that was it. He was absolutely determined, Malcolm, wasn't he?
Well, he was. And the great thing about it, he had momentum. So I often think, you know, why go back and put some pressure on yourself? Nearly a good tackle and then just crash through. I mean, it's making a statement. I think St Kilda have made a reasonable statement here, and here's another one.
Lenny Hayes, one of the co-captains on for the Saints, back from a reconstruction last season. The 2 number 7s there to go at it, Hayes and West. Saints by 12.
Good knock.
Ricks the tap. It's straight to Boyd, who just scrub a kick to half forward. Well attacked by Graham. To Thompson, now got a great smother Griffin.
That's a free kick. Didn't need to push in there. Why do blokes do that? I mean, if the umpire was fair dinkum, he would have played the free kick on the Griffin there. Wow.
Here's Boyd to cross. Jordan McMahon at halfback kicks in the direction of power. He's put that on the full. No, just touched. There's a flashback to last year. The Daniel Gian Syracusa hip and shoulder on Kazitsky. It was a controversial one. He escaped suspension, escaped charge, but that just about polished off Kazitsky's season for the year, didn't it, fellas?
Just about, yes, but they say that he's in pretty good nick this year, and that's all behind him. That's about the spot too, isn't it, where the ball is now? Ricks and Street, the extra centimetres are going to be an advantage, obviously, to Street.
No, good tackle, no chance. Good tackle, no chance.
Street back in the team for his first game of the year. There he is, Justin Kazitsky.
Don't push.
Still 24 years of age, and the best footy, you would think, well and truly ahead of him. West, Boyd, Thompson, Harvey, Clark, and again, it's the Saints with the escape, and it's pretty open inside the 50. Can they get there? That was Brooks. Interference against Wright. Chopping of the arms. So another big man, more tall timber forward. It's working. So Ross Lyon really loading up. Oh, bit of hesitation there. Milne shaped as if he was going to fly. Then he turned to the front of the pack, and Gehrig just didn't get there.
Through the middle here, they're a chance.
All right, they've got some run. This is Boyd, now a permanent fixture. Played every game last year for the Dogs. Bit of hesitation though. Gin Syracusa arrived just at the right time. Higgins leading for him at centre-half full. Johnson doubling back as he uses Boyd, and also Griffin just out of the reach of Fisher. Chance to see Griffin here, but he did the U-turn instead of trying to move forward. Points to Fisher.
They look a bit tentative, Malcolm, the Dogs.
That's what happened. I mean, St Kilda's pressure early has been sensational, I think. It's been much better than last week early, and even better than the week before against Melbourne. I mean, they are up.
And the confidence that we didn't see from the Bulldogs last week, we haven't seen it reappear yet.
Hold! Advantage!
Advantage paid. Eagleton's away. He can goal. Oh, he sprays it again.
Rixie, come. Pull his arm down.
Look, the first kick to Riewoldt when he goes and then does that tackle, I mean, Ross Lyon said he'd be a much better coach with Riewoldt in the team. Facetiously said it, but it's true. I mean, he's such a wonderful player.
So a couple of lost opportunities for the Dogs, one to Eagleton and one to Johnson. As the Saints working into the midfield. Blake to the run of Harvey and also to the run of Graham. Sidesteps West. Graham, another sidestep. Now picks his moment, and that's beautifully done. Didn't panic. Kept his cool and spotted up Xavier Clark directly in front, 45 from goal.
Stephen asked Rodney before the game, as we see that build up, the game's very open. A game like this last week, they got belted, Bulldogs. At some stage or other, if this continues, Rodney Eade is going to have to change his game style for the night.
Xavier Clark. No mistake. Goal umpire doesn't move. The Saints off to the flyer at the Dome. 4 goals in the opening 14 minutes of this match.
Just too easy through the midfield for him. And I must say, the St Kilda forward line is more potent. If the Bulldogs are going to start missing with their kicks, they're going to be in awful trouble. Nick Riewoldt there, Stephen, just having a rest. Cossie and him swapped.
No possessions for Luke Darcy yet, playing as a key forward. Blighty?
No,
he's had much service yet.
Hasn't been to the ball yet, Anthony.
Blighty standing up in the box. He's getting serious as Ricks gets the tap. Down to Hayes, to McGualter, and this is Clinton Jones. Came third in the Sandover medal last year. Right. Del Santo and Fiora. So the switch has been made, which usually means there's a bit more of an opening in the forward line. Kazitsky continuing to be centimetres away from his best. Great work from Kazitsky, Brooks and Fiora. We know he can land them from there. Oh, he's got away again. He's been dangerous, Clark, in all sorts of different ways so far.
What about that for a kick? That was fantastic from Fiora.
Not bad from Kazitsky for the recovery. Yeah. And Brooks.
And Brooks. Yeah. Ooh. I've got a theory about 4 goals in front, you do something. Otherwise, it gets out of hand too quickly.
We love a Blighty theory on a Saturday night. Clark tries to will it back, but at the start straighter than that. So we've seen what bad kicking can do in footy in this round of footy already. It lets teams back in. 4-2 to 1-2. We've also learnt that the game is certainly not over at half-time. We learnt that today.
Exactly.
Another reason Blighty's nervous, he's got to give away a $5,000 television at the end of the game. I don't.
Well, if he doesn't find anyone out there, Quarters, I know a couple of blokes who wouldn't mind one.
Wonder if he'll do a Robert Clog. This is Jordan McMahon. Dogs need a steadier here. A long ball. Griffin's there, so's Johnson. Beautifully mopped up by Fisher.
Oh, how far?
His full measure. White, the big fly. Cuts off that 4-0 forward. And he plays on straight away. Straight into the middle. And it's marked by Cross. Cross will go out wide. This is Addison. A wobbly old kick into the pocket, but it favours Johnson. Can't quite get there and can't keep it alive.
They're getting numbers back pretty well, the Saints.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Right, if this continues, Rodney Eade's going to have to do that with the Bulldogs as well.
Riewoldt bides his time. Dogs attacking. Hayes at the front. There's Darcy getting into the action, but straight to where all the numbers were for the Saints. Baker got a little bit of treatment as he kicked it. It was Vinson that was nearby. This is McMahon. You'd think he'd be able to take care of Brooks. Well, he couldn't. Well done, Barry Brooks. Cross ineffective too. The Saints gathering storm off half-back. Attard disorientated, but eventually found Ricks. It's not too clean from the Saints. Still not too clean. There was always the chance of a turnover. And it eventuates. Morris. Scotty West can kick right foot these days. Not well. He can kick them, but not many left footers can, Blighty.
No, and I really think they've just burnt too much ball.
His big Will, by the way, is Will Minson. But just as well he missed, I reckon.
I reckon he's been in
Nothing
good
that,
form.
Stephen.
Sorry?
Nothing in that.
Anything head high, Hutto, these days? Knocked off the ball is Addison. West to Hargrave. Squares it up into the corridor. Flies from the side. And boy, their height advantage at the moment is really showing St Kilda. As Riewoldt comes back onto the ground. Sam Fisher. Long ball. Blake's worked hard. He'll mark and go inside 50. Gehrig against Harris. Gehrig with strength. Handballs back to Blake. To the tip of the goal square. Kazitsky! And they are annihilating him in the air at the moment. Very worrying signs. If you're a Bulldogs fan, if you're a Saints supporter, you'd be loving it. Good work from Blake for a big fella, following it down the ground, and beautiful mark from Kazitsky. He got a bit of treatment from Big Will afterwards. So Justin Kazitsky directly in front, only 20 metres out. Oh. Well, your 4-goal theory is just hanging in there, Malcolm. Courtesy of some bad kicking for goal from St Kilda.
Yeah, and you have to say the Bulldogs have missed a couple of easy ones, but certainly haven't been dominant.
Justin Kazitsky's been a pretty good kick at goal through his career. Not so then Murphy, who hasn't been able to get the ball in general play either. Both he and Luke Darcy. No touches so far. This is a chance. First time we've seen a real lot of space for the Dogs to enjoy. Cross for Gilby. In unfamiliar territory these days. He's been removed from defence because I guess St Kilda are just so tall that Rodney not taking a chance with having Gilby down there for the moment.
Yeah, but why would you try and mark on the chest when you mark out in front of your eyes? I mean, it's just one of the cardinal sins of footy.
Gets the free. He was one of those senior players that were singled out by Rodney Eade last week as being disappointing. So the Saints have got everyone back. They're all in their defensive half. So here we go with the ringer Rosie. Murphy. Minson's down there as another forward threat. Darcy, and at the back, Siracusa. Higgins, he was impressive last week when many of his more senior teammates weren't. Cross, always impressive. Darcy, tough. Blake, effective. Higgins, try to beat ridiculous odds. Goddard, Brooks, time on his side. More run coming. Kazitsky not so good on the left. Here's Murphy. Can he wind into something decent? No, he was trying to be subtle. Misses Boyd. And it's Graham and the Saints, maybe through Baker.
Good little battle here. Baker and West. Well played by West. Got it over to Higgins. And what can the young man do with it? Concedes some territory and goes backwards and finds Farron Ray. Again, the Saints get numbers back, all but Fraser Gehrig for the St Kilda team are in the back half of the ground. And there's Fraser just walking over halfway now.
I was just thinking of that game I was watching today, Essendon and Carlton, and the free flowing and lots of goals, and now we've turned back the clock a bit here, boys. A lot of players in defence.
Turn back the clock.
Touch of Sydney Swans about this, Malcolm.
Touch of, well, I'll come back to that.
Let's not start, eh?
Yeah.
Ray, good kick to the hot spot. Tip of the goal square. Darcy said it's a free kick to Blake. No. Umpire will toss it in.
Now, if I was coaching Luke Darcy now, what I do, he's trying to fight for front spot. They've worked him out and pushed him underneath the ball. Luke, play from behind and see if the bloke in front of you likes getting in front.
Blake doing the ruck work. He hasn't had any hit-outs this year, but he's got an involvement there. Now, Eagleton. Tough from there for a left footer, and he thought that as well. Tough for Boyd there in amongst all those Saints. Still alive though, hard to handle for Fisher. And Boyd didn't give up. And he got some plaudits from the crowd, but all his hard work amounted to nothing. Fisher and Harvey. These days doesn't get the game time he used to, Harvey, but still effective, as we saw there. Montagna streaming through the middle, ups to run and carry, just kick it long to the big forwards. There's plenty of them down there.
Right. Well, terrific stuff. This has been played on St Kilda's terms tonight, so whoever dominates usually ends up winning.
So shove the numbers back if you're Rodney Eade.
I reckon you've got to do it now. You're going to be 4.5 goals, whatever. Feels like 100, doesn't it?
Well, they're hurting them on the rebound now. Early on, they're just getting the ball themselves out of the middle. But into an open forward line, it's all about conversion. Riewoldt's had his moments over the years, but he started nicely tonight. First goal for the year, no doubt that would make him feel a little better.
Yes. Yeah, good build-up. I mean, one-on-one, this is, we all talk about how the forwards like it. How courageous that is. He's got some courage, the lad, and got some ability too.
Let's go to Christy Malthouse.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, Justin Kazitsky has just taken himself off the ground, went for a little bit of a walk and then straight down into the rooms. There was nothing obvious that appeared to be wrong with him, but obviously something's up, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Interesting, so far this year, Saints ranked #1 for marks inside 50. The Bulldogs are last, and so far in this game, it's 6-1 marks inside 50, favouring the Saints, obviously. Johnson kept it alive. His handball went straight to Blake, who couldn't quite find a teammate. Cooney back to to Johnson from a tight angle across the face. Eagleton. No mark.
I think that's a real chance, actually, to get the ball out the middle.
There's Kazitsky in the rooms.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe just couldn't hang on to a quarter time. Throw in Darcy.
Always a pragmatist, Anthony.
At the back of the pack. Attard. Milne. Baker. Harvey. And there's Clinton Jones. He's had a couple of nice touches.
He's Riewoldt to run for the money with the locks, doesn't he?
Mate, from behind the line. Play on!
What's the matter with being blonde?
Play on!
They had more fun.
Yeah, that alone. Baker goes out to the wing, and this is Blake striding forward. Better watch out. Johnson was coming. I reckon he felt the wind. Riewoldt again. Well, Hargrave, he's going to have a very tough night ahead of him if this continues, Malcolm White.
Malcolm, you mentioned before the game we were on the ground, we were just strolling along. He said, imagine if Knights and Vanderhaar were playing tonight. How does this guy rate as an aerialist with at least those two greats?
Oh, sensational.
Is he as good as those two guys in the
Well,
air?
he's going to be, because he's... Have a look at that. That's a huge stretch. Probably didn't use the... He tends to play from the front a bit more.
Kick 5 in that round 21 match last year. Until then, didn't have a great record against the Dogs, surprisingly, but that is as straight as you can get. And the Saints have got 6-1 now.
Okay, Robert Harvey and Stephen Baker have 8 apiece, and Boyd and Cross have 9 and 8. So out of the middle, it's probably 50-50. It's really the use and the marking power at the moment of the forwards, which is pretty obvious.
So far, so good for Nick Riewoldt in his comeback game. He's kicked a couple. There's Luke Darcy having a spell. It's the Saints out by 31 as we near quarter time.
Play on!
Bounce favours the Saints, Ricks, but it tapped it straight to Gian Siracusa. A long ball. 2-on-2 contest there. Saints did well in defence.
Got hold of him!
It's a free kick going St.Kilda's way.
Back here!
I watched the on-ballers then run to that contest.
Just grab the
Harvey
when he
ran
didn't
to the
have it.
opposite pocket.
Yep.
Interesting. Gave them an out from the other side.
Attard to Thompson. A floater to the wing.
If I could just add to that, Andrew Thompson ran to the other pocket. So they're 2 on-ballers from the middle of the ground. Once the ball went into the forward line for the Bulldogs, both on-ballers, 2 on-ballers, went to different pockets. Quite interesting.
Darren Goldsmith, we saw on camera there for a moment. The emergency umpire still passed the fitness test, I think, doesn't he? Got to make those marks.
Apparently he was in a good paddock over summer, Hutto.
Oh, there he is. That was Stephen Quartermain that said that. Another a bitter Hawthorn supporter still from the preliminary final.
Don't start. He'll be back. Goldie.
Improvising in the ruck was Cross. This is Eagleton. And Attard watching West and watching the footy go over the line. Inside 2 minutes to go, and quarter time can't come quick enough for the Western Bulldogs. There's Jaden Attard, who was, of course, with the Brisbane Lions. 5 games in 2 seasons, but he started well in his first 3 games this year with the Saints. Dogs need to see if they can just jag one, but it's not going to come soon. Del Santo, advantage paid. Harvey takes it. Brooks again. Did well in the air. Just another one for the Dogs to try and counter. Harvey committed. Why wouldn't you move it? Riewoldt misjudged that time. Harris and Gehrig haven't really seen much action.
No, contested marks are 7-2, just for information, boys, and it says it too, doesn't it? Huge stat now, isn't it, contested marks?
Addison sharing it with Higgins, who does look a real likely type. Just outside the top 10 in the draft a couple of years ago, and the Doggies reckon they've got one for the future in Sean Higgins. McMahon and Addison. Oh, happens when things aren't going well for you. Trying to be positive here, but Dogs getting bustled, and that was interference according to the umpire. And it's going to Gian Siracusa against Graham. 39-8. Here's another look at it. Just lingered a bit too long, perhaps, with the arm. Riewoldt off the ground again, just at the bottom of the screen. That's, gee, it's just a sign, and that is dangerous kicking by Baker. We just haven't seen that confidence of the running of the Bulldogs that we're used to seeing now. Is that a thing that is that a matter of confidence, or is it credit to the Saints?
No, you're quite right. It's both. I reckon last week, going up there playing the young Brisbane side, it's just hurt them a bit as a team, and now they're betwixt and between. Will we be all right, or won't we?
McMahon, good kick.
I'll tell you what, if they start kicking it well, that's their only chance of winning this game.
Higgins has got it. Just a little too far out to score, you'd think. Has been called to go. Into the pocket to Johnson. Oh, that's a great pass. A great lead too, but had to be perfect.
That's 2 perfect kicks. Can they do that more?
Can you rely on that, though, to kick goals, Blighty?
Well,
Saved by the bell. Thank you.
a must kicker from Brad Johnson, who missed a relatively easy one earlier in the match. He's got 1-1 so far. Got to kick this. And the captain doesn't let his team down. Well done, Brad Johnson. He's got 2. And just what the Doggies needed on quarter time. St.Kilda 6-3-39. The Bulldogs 2-2-14. Saints, Malcolm, by 25 points.
Entertaining quarter. Had a flat spot in the middle as the Bulldogs built up.
I'm headed for a big fat 0 like you a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Anthony, I want to talk to you about something.
What?
I'll get back to it. Just who have you tipped tonight?
I went with the Bulldogs.
Oh, good. You're.
I did tip Adelaide, though, so I got 1 for the weekend.
Down she goes to start the second term. Street the tap.
Tackled in, free kick, play on, play
Advantage paid. Dogs away. Street to Higgins. Good grab. Good mark. He's a good young one, this one. Only 19. Taken pick 11 in 2005.
Now, watched him in the first 2 games. He's actually a nice kick too, isn't he? He's
Yep. He's got some smarts about him too, hasn't he? Knows where to run. There's Fraser Gehry going for a bit of a stroll.
Yes, there's Fraser. They all move forward. This is as young Higgins is about to take a shot at goal.
From right on the 50.
Oh, yeah, beauty.
He kicked 3 goals, 1 up until then, Blighty.
Yeah, I knew he was a good kick until then.
Del Santo's got out of the way, so the Dogs didn't quite get their zone organised. And now the Saints can thrust forward again. Montagna held up by Griffin, so actually gone 1-on-1 from the kick in, and that's why they're covered further down the ground.
He's coming dangerous, this guy, isn't he? He's a bit of a link player. Not as good last week as the week before, but...
Now 9 running bounces the first week, none last week.
Yeah, they sat on him last week.
Can hear the crowd get involved when Riewoldt goes near it. Montagna again, Gehrig. Good fist from Harris. But that only brings another big man into it. Kazitsky back for Jones, into the square. High cross. Always committed. Harris got no one really on this side, no one clear. So he has to wait and wait. And eventually Ray presents across half back. Saints leading by 24. The Dogs trying to create that run and share, but they're not really getting overlap at the moment.
Murphy's by himself, 1-on-1. Surely you just see how he's going.
Well, here he is, and he's going all right as he takes the mark. Graham pushes back off him. Kazitsky takes the mark, so they've still got an extra couple of loosies back inside the 50.
Oh, they've pushed back beautifully, St Kilda. They're going to have to muck around with this a bit.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Here we go.
McMahon.
Anyone wants a cup of tea right now is a good time to go and do it.
Well, they need a forward to bolt into the pace. No, they didn't go into the space at all. They just went along and hoped for Johnson, but Fisher on the next line came through.
To Graham. Now Jones has found some space. Clinton Jones in his first game of footy. 3rd in the Sandover medal last year. Finds his blonde counterpart, or does he? No, not quite.
That is, I mean, you know, we can talk about that holding it up, but isn't that brilliant when they actually get it going again? That the breakaway. And it's just so hard to stop.
Are they rattled, the Bulldogs, at the moment, Melvin?
They're under pressure, certainly.
They don't seem to have their usual zing, do they, Anthony?
No, not at all.
Crowd's a bit flat, the Dog supporters. Ray. Got out of jail there, the Doggies. Now Griffin. What can he produce? It's a long, searing kick towards Murphy. Too long and through for a point.
Good signs at least there for them, though, Blighty. At least they got some run that time.
Oh, yep.
Baker takes the kick in, or takes the result of the kick in from Goddard. And the Dogs have just tightened up here, although Rick's working really hard on the wing. Cross and Cooney closing. Oh, I thought there was some interference. The umpire didn't. Ricks went down and accentuated the contact, but no free kick. Cooney or Harvey. And not being all that scientific about it at the moment, the Dogs. Clinton Jones, quite prominent. He'll want to make amends for that, and he gets the chance. Often you don't. Didn't want to make 2 mistakes in a row, but unfortunately he did. It's catching. Boyd for cross. Saw that there was Saints circling. Couldn't do anything about it. Del Santo. Baker just delayed the kick. Gave Kaczynski a chance. And as if holding, it's Riewolt's kick, I reckon.
Here. Got to let him run, mate. He can't run. Have you got your arm ready? No, you've got your arm ready.
That's Milne.
Well, 2 holds.
Or is it Riewoldt?
Riewoldt.
Well, has Morris gone on to him then? Because Morris in the first quarter was on Stephen Milne, but now it looks like Morris is on Riewoldt. Certainly he's got him covered for height. Morris is a very versatile defender. There's Hargrave standing the mark, so maybe it was just a switch up as Riewoldt misses.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks. Both of you right behind you.
So Gilby to do the kicking in. There's not a lot on offer. So he's got to go the short option in the back pocket to West.
Thanks, Nick. Nick.
Now Ray.
Stand, Nick, stand.
And his short kick finds Boyd. Inside 50 so far in the game, 16 apiece. Now Cooney puts the foot on the gas. Can't get past Harvey. Forced to release. John Syracuse slick hands to Griffin, who went without it. Another bad mistake by the Bulldogs. They're looking over their shoulder. They're under pressure. Great intensity from the Saints, and they've got a stoppage.
It's actually glaring when a mistake is made now, isn't it? You can just see the game unfolding, and he was off and through, and then just that one fumble.
Darcy having a run on the ball. Great tap to West, but his handball's missed the target. You don't see that too often. Thompson over the top, releases it. Darcy's in there again. Montagna feeds it out from the bottom. Well done to Clark. Over to Harvey. This is disposal number 12 to Gehrig. Not 15, said the umpire. Play on. Back to Harvey. The loose man is Graham. Can he get there? He's got Milne in support. Graham paddles. Went to Ray though. He's under pressure. Tried to get it back to a teammate. It's a high tackle. And it's a free kick. And it's going to go to Morris.
Well, it's interesting. A Riewoldt miss. Now it's almost a certain goal. And another little fumble down the other end. So that's 2 turnarounds now for the Bulldogs. You just don't get these chances all the time. They've got to make something of it.
Scratchy play at the moment. Clark was threatening there. Morris. Saints hang on to it. 24-point lead. The Dogs very labour intensive. Finally, a little bit of freedom for Luke Darcy to try and hit up West. First touch of the night for Luke Darcy. His first possession. Anyway, Griffin back for West. And now, chance for Ray. It's got to sit for him out there. Ricks determined at any cost he was going to stop him. He did that. He gave away the free. Umpire not convinced of the advantage. Griffin's long kick missed. It's going to come back.
You just capped it off.
Well, that's fair enough too.
It was good play by Ricks. I think it stopped the run. Professional free kick.
Did you see just half a dozen guys in that passage of play then? All were gasping for breath. Yeah. Here's now comes Gehrig coming down as the ball goes into the forward line for the Bulldogs. So they really do clog it up.
Need to open the roof, get a bit of fresh air in.
And Gehrig will come into play here. He didn't mark it, but he helped to block the space. And it is very tough for the Western Bulldogs to penetrate. Del Santo. Now the Dogs have got their own numbers back, so Montagna will have a bit of a problem soon, but not yet, because Blake was able to just sneak in front of Murphy. And Montagna running again. Oh, tough for Riewoldt there. Didn't lose the ball completely, though. Was able to get it in the general direction of his teammates, and it ends up being a contested situation. Ball up.
Been a few more ball ups in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so the game's just tightening up a bit, and players really are sucking in for breath. It's a warm night in Melbourne.
Darcy, oh, beautifully done to cross. He's happy Mr. Tucker. Cooney was being held. And he'll get the free. Gee, that's a couple of pieces of nice ruck work from Luke Darcy. There's Johnson, the old double back again. And he's going to be kicking in his direction. He won't get there, Johnson. Now he does. And he runs out of space. Saints by 4 goals.
What a great spot there, is it? If you look where the ball's ended up, it just doesn't put enough pressure on the defence of St Kilda.
Johnson doing the ruck work. Boyd, Ricks, you can see the determination all over his face tonight. Goddard uses Thompson. Graham, it's in good hands. Not such a great kick though. Fiora versus Harris. Well done, Fiora. Committed. Jones leaves it behind. Harris a long way away from where his usual domain is, but make sure it's over. Just drops back off the contest here, Harris, to provide one of several loose men for the Dogs. That's if the Saints win the ball and send it forward. And they had extra numbers around the contest. Acrobatics from Fiora. Gehrig too slow to get rid of it. Wasn't presented with a lot of options. Holding the ball. One of the few we've seen this weekend. Harris took too long. Jones, Kazitsky stalking up forward. It won't get there. And the athletic Griffin goes back to take the mark. The margin still 24.
There has been a lot of that cutting off that short pass. A lot of players reading it because there are a lot of players back. It's always difficult to find that space over a player's head.
Just 1 point to 2 points in this quarter.
Gilby to Griffin. Back to Gilby in game 100. And no mark to cross. Mopping up is Hayes. Over to Ricks. And the big fella misses the target. 3-on-1 here in favour of the Dogs. So the win out. McMahon. Fancy little kick to West. Came off. Now back to Morris. And they're going around in circles here. Cross to the 50. Goddard's there. Johnson. Free kick going St Kilda's way. Free kick counts as 9 to the Bulldogs, 6 to the Saints.
Johnson's having 2 to contest with every single time, Blighty.
Yeah, I think it's McMahon. Goddard just dropping off. They're doing some switcheroos at the back there, trying to get an extra player back.
How hard is it then to try and hit the player who is
the P? Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. If you've done your scouting and you've done your homework, you think, well, OK, Johnson's kicked all the goals. He's more than likely going to grab 2 players. So you almost need a nondescript. That is not a normal goal kicker.
And make him the target.
Make him the target.
Yep. Lots of numbers around the footy. The Saints have got 4 players away from here inside 50. And here they come into the thick of the action. Oh, everyone went up. The only one down was Jones. And he didn't get the favourable bounce. Just a little tap too high. And frustration for Cameron White.
Kill now. You've got the kick, go away.
We watch this again, and I mean, that's a free kick all time, isn't it?
Yeah, but still even right.
A little bit over anxious and slight slip. And it kills you when it's this close to goal. The conversion, the only thing left. And Kazitsky has done enough. First goal of the quarter.
Yes, well, it's taken a while, but has been tight. Pretty good contest there from all players, and Jones, as you boys have said, have been very lively, and well, that's just a free kick, isn't it? I mean, you can't go crook at that at all.
9 possessions for Jones. Malcolm, third highest
good
for the Saints.
Well, the margin's out to an even 5 goals now, as Luke Darcy's in the middle. He'll be up against Brooks. Here's Graham at half-back. Read it nicely. Some fancy footwork, and now he dishes off to Hayes, who has the kick smothered. Ricochets to McQualter, who was a late replacement for Matthew Clark. Now Del Santo. Hasn't had a lot of it. That kick's good though. Finds Clark, and there's a couple of loose men in St Kilda's attacking 50. One of them's Hayes. Clark ignores him and goes the longer option. Looks for Jones. Interesting choice. Poor choice, really. And the mark is taken by Crosses. Riewoldt has another spell. Not too happy about it.
Miscues. Again, some sloppy play. Chance for the Saints. Clark, Graham, Del Santo. Better movement of the footy. Piercing kick too, hitting it hard again, Kaczynski. And there's all Saints at ground level. Montagna. Has he got the angle right? No.
Had 3 crummers there, Malcolm, and no Bulldog in sight. The Saints front and centre.
Yeah, it's unusual because, I mean, they've both been pushing back a few numbers, and you're quite right. But the ball turning over, come back quickly, got caught out. Here they are.
Higgins on the wing. Long ball, but gee, it's an ordinary kick for a forward to mark. Murphy couldn't. Del Santo to Baker.
And Murphy, Malcolm, is Goddard's man, so he's the man they probably need to try and hit.
Over to Lee Fisher. And his kick finds Big Brooks. The man from King Island. Short to Fiora. He sees someone out of the corner of his eye. It was McQualter. Darcy got there to create the contest. Murphy. Good hands. Now Darcy.
If he looks up, Johnson's virtually by himself in their forward line. The Bulldogs are pushing blokes back as well now.
McMahon out wide to Hargrave.
To Hargrave, as you said. West is away on the wing. Got to get it moving. Got to get that run going. Saints have got 2 numbers back in front of Johnson by now, so it'll have to be patient. It's not what they really want. Goddard standing in front of Johnson, who's doubled back to the square. Farron Ray's got to go. Goddard, Johnson. Who else?
It's good, isn't it?
It is good, but hell, it's hard work for him. I mean,
Yeah.
you just can't expect that to happen all the time. It just floated nicely, that kick. One thing he doesn't do is take his eye off the footy, so he's a chance.
Didn't have a contested possession last week, the first time ever for Brad Johnson. Also had 4 clanger kicks. And I don't know if you call it a clanger, but pretty close under the circumstances. It's a behind that the Bulldogs didn't need. It's back to a 5-goal ball game, and it's been a mixed bag, hasn't it, for Brad Johnson up forward tonight.
2-2. Lee Fisher in the back pocket. Leading possession getters for the Saints, 13 to Harvey, a dozen to Baker. While for the Dogs, 15 to Cross, 15 to McMahon, and 13 to Boyd. Sam Fisher.
Talk about precision kicking.
To Montagna. There's the matchups as we speak. And the mark's taken by Gehrig.
Well, from the back pocket, from a kick out, no one's played on, and every kick has found its mark. Shot at goal.
No, Big Fraser, who kicked the first goal of the match in the opening minute. What are his numbers so far? 4 disposals, a couple of marks. Tough from here. It's floating back, but nowhere near enough.
Well, the Bulldogs have got to show their skill now. Just like St Kilda then, they almost got to get this down the other end and have a shot at goal, just to give them some confidence within the team.
Gilby for McMahon.
Two.
Addison into the middle for White.
3. Eagles is on the go, yeah?
All right, now
There we
what's
go.
Eagleton going to do? He really has to run as far as he can. He decides to go for Darcy, and he just bombs away and hopes for Murphy or for Johnson, but it's Fisher. Goddard, look at the determination from Murphy and Johnson. They're trying to lock it in. They're trying to keep it alive. Johnson working against the odds. Working. Needed a bounce. That was going to be more unusual. Well done, Minson. He's got Jan Siracusa. Went around the ball a bit. Ray just couldn't squeeze out a kick. And the Saints defending grandly there. The Dogs really missed an opportunity. And it's over and out again. Nothing going the Bulldogs' way, and they don't score a goal in this quarter.
No, conversely though, the defensive
Great
pressure,
defence, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually a good contest all round.
Darcy against Ricks. They both really missed it. Picked up by Ray. Kicks it inside the 50. Goddard against Eagleton. It's a free kick to Brendan Goddard.
He left the footing, Nathan. He didn't have it and you tackled him.
Short to Harvey.
Yeah, good TP.
Number 14 for Robert Harvey.
Hold it there. Find their
And so far this season has been on the ground 74% of the time. Averaging 17 touches so far. Fiora. And Montagna turns his opponent inside out. Did it well. Got rid of Cross beautifully. Now a couple of bounces. Make it 3. As Montagna puts the Saints back inside 50. Riewoldt the front posse. Bit of indecisiveness there from the Bulldogs defence, but they get out of it. Morris to McMahon. Towards Eagleton over his head. Bad bounce for Fiora. Now Goddard to Hayes. Good tackle, Higgins. Goddard again. Hot on his hammer as Farron Ray. Goddard kept his feet.
How do you? That's a tunnel ball stat. Just White is now playing on Riewoldt. Just see in the background there, right back in the goals.
Ricks and Darcy tangling again. Hayes and West. Bit of movement from Power and Boyd. And Brad Johnson there. Once again, got the read on the ball coming in and takes a terrific mark. We almost lost some very valuable equipment here in the commentary box just as that ball was going to Brad Johnson. Blighty was ducking out of the road. There wasn't any help. Here's Johnson's kick from 45. Oh, he's hooked it again. Two goals, 3 for Brad Johnson. Basically kicked their whole score.
6-8 from set shots so far for the two teams, Anthony. Given the fact there's no wind. We'll have a throw in now. There's no place to hide at Telstra Dome. There's Marty Pash, just a little arm over the head with Liesl Jones. Ain't love grand. That'd cost him a fine for the footy trip, surely.
Remember those days, Malcolm?
Oh, gee. There's a lot of lines, but the footy's okay. Yeah, they just 30 points is not insurmountable in some of the results we've seen this year.
Some of the results we've seen today, Blighty,
Yeah.
in fact. Eagleton. Morris. West. Be Johnson again. Oh, and he's getting the footy all right now, but it's the next step that's the problem for him. That is as ugly as you like, but as effective as any of the straight kicks you'll ever see. They're all worth 6. Tipped in the Nat Cup.
Yes. And it's been hard work for both teams this quarter. Not a lot of scoring done, but Johnson's found a bit more room at the moment, and he's normally a beautiful kick. I mean, he's just having an off night, and that's another really off kick. But it's found the mark. Much needed.
Imagine if they didn't have Brad Johnson tonight. He's kicked 3 goals, 3 out of 3 goals, 6.
Yeah, I must say, most of the attacks are going to him, though.
Yep.
Bulldogs have won the quarter, Malcolm. 1-4 to 1-3.
Yeah.
So that's something to take into half-time.
Sure.
Still 2.5 to go, though. And the Saints have possession. Goddard. Out wide to Harvey. And he's got about 10 metres on Gilby. Forced onto the left. Still bad bounce for Clark. So the Dogs back in the picture here. Into the middle. Cross. West. Eagleton. That's a sloppy handball. It's a terrible handball. Del Santo. Eagleton gets a chance to make amends. And again, not a great handball. Power. To half forward, looking for Addison. Well done, McQualter. Well, they paid the price there for the Bulldogs for not being precise. Now inside 50 go the Saints. Riewoldt. Oh, yes. Well, they've only got themselves to blame there, the Western Bulldogs.
Yes, Eagleton had 2 chances to cover up, a senior player, and felt the pressure that wasn't there, and still not good enough.
6 marks tonight for Riewoldt, all of them contested, lining up for goal number 3. It's coming back. 2-2 to Nick Riewoldt. So that makes this second term even. It's the Saints by 25.
He's only had 7 touches, Riewoldt, but he's almost been, I shouldn't say this, the dominant player on the ground. He's the focal point, he's the beacon.
Well, 6 contested marks, yeah.
West, so they've got a minute to try and do some damage here, the Bulldogs, in this quarter. They've broken even, which I guess is a start if you're going to work your way back into a contest where you're being smashed, which they were in the opening term. White's now got the job on Riewoldt, so they've gone for a taller option. Higgins, odds against him there with Addard, and the run from Clark. Harvey was calling for it, but he's delayed it and gone by hand instead to Graham. We know kicking the distance won't be a problem. Well, normally it's not, but he was a little off balance, and Harris had that one covered right from the moment it left the boot. So still the Dogs have got some time. 25 seconds to be precise. The loping Hargrave. Can he hit a target through the middle? Eagleton's going to try and mark above his head. Not so easy under the circumstances. Goddard. And it's the Saints with one last thrust forward. Montagna. They don't know there's only 10 seconds to go, so might be a bit tough for them. Maybe there's a chance for a mark if Kosicki goes long. No, he goes by hand. So a bit of a stalemate in that second quarter, which won't upset the Saints too much. They lead by 25, Malcolm Blight, 7-7 to 3-6.
Was a tight quarter, had some moments, but mainly a lot of skill errors, probably just decision-making errors, and just didn't quite finish it off. But what it did do, the Bulldogs...
Rooms at the start of the coverage. I'm sure, Stephen, you would have been a little more welcome then than you would be now.
Thanks, Christy, with that engagement ring just sparkling under the Telstra Dome lights too. That is one hell of a rock.
Second half underway. Let's see if things change after the break as Rodney Eade changed the mix for the Dogs. Doesn't look like it just yet. Hargrave back on Riewoldt because Kosicki's back on the ground, so White's gone back to Kosicki. Milne didn't get a touch basically in the first half, but he started the second half by getting his first possession and putting it on the chest of Baker.
Yeah, Stephen Baker's done a really good job, got 14 or 15 touches, and as we see this contest, certainly pulled down Kosicki. Umpire offsided there, couldn't see it. And as Anthony mentioned, Stephen very quiet. Morris does a good job on him.
Baker, not a big goal kicker, and just 30 goals in 136 games for Stephen Baker, not adding to it there. So between them, they've kicked 10 goals, 14 tonight.
Now what's Jordan McMahon got offer? He's going to go to a contest. You don't see that too much from kickouts, do you? And it did not pay dividends at all as Stephen Baker takes the mark. To Thompson, to Del Santo. Little chip looking for Harvey, who works overtime to get there. Great stuff, Robert Harvey. And he's probably just out of range.
Interesting choice there, wasn't it, to kick to a pack?
Yeah.
But the smallest man in the pack to mark it, Stephen Baker.
So is anyone backing Robert Harvey from here?
This is just on his distance.
Yep. It'll take his best from right on 50. He's given it everything. And how dare I question the Brownlow medalist? Robert Harvey.
Well, as we look at this, and Baker, the big jump from behind, it's a terrific mark. Wow. And then the build-up to Harvey.
206th career goal for Robert Harvey, playing game number 3-4-3.
As we come back there, as we look at Ross Lyon and Rodney Eade looking on, into the centre now is Nick Del Santo. You'll see him on that far side along just near the umpire at the back there. He got that last takeaway.
He's in amongst it again. Boy, you can see the gloom in the Bulldogs coaching box, couldn't you? I reckon they're a bit lost as to what's happened to this team in the last 2 weeks. The great hope for Victorian football. It's the Saints match with that mantle now. Well, certainly threatening anyway as Griffin clears this time for Cross. Got Jen Syracuse ahead of him. Better watch out. Jones was coming. West. Griffin. Another example of the Bulldogs being overwhelmed at the contest. West misses. They are afraid more than just around the edges at the moment. They're on the back foot. They are a shell of themselves, the Western Bulldogs. The Saints hunting in numbers. Riewoldt.
Stephen made an interesting comment at the start of the game. He thought that the Bulldogs, perhaps the last 10 minutes of this game might overrun them, and I guess we've all seen their leg speed and skill late in games, in many games. Just at the moment, it's not evident. What they need to do here is just persevere and hang in and get a kick back occasionally.
Who's he going to pay it to? And he pays it to the Saints, to Baker. Thompson lets fly, and so does Fraser. So did Harris. Gee, Griffin, amazing self-confidence there with Saints all around. Milne tried to go alone. He's done that a few times and not always with success. 8-8 plays 3-6. Good grab, wasn't it, from Baker over the top?
He's played a pretty good game.
Find that half, hold it there. Don't hold.
Jen Syracuse. 10 possessions, and again, this un-Bulldog-like performance. Hargrave took a while to get rid of it. He's got Morris okay. They've got to the wing.
Not a lot of leads on offer. Now he kicks to Johnson, and that's a free kick, surely. Gee, stiff not to get a free kick there. He'll have a throw in. There's Johnson screaming for one off the ball. Let's have a look here. Was this a free kick? Well, the defender's allowed to at least attempt to spoil, I guess. It's at half forward for the Dogs. What will the umpire do here? He'll bounce. Talking about Baker's game, Malcolm, 18 disposals, 7 marks. Well, that should be a free kick.
Blindsided on the umpire.
Yeah.
The umpire's in the inside. It's smart play.
Baker, 18 disposals, 7 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. Pretty good game, isn't it?
He's been good. Harvey's been good. The two of them have been good in the middle. Westie's coming good, though. Scott West had a much better second quarter. Here we go. Justin Kazitsky's at full forward. So he's almost 5 metres in front of the square, and you're White on him.
Fraser Gehrig.
As we can see, Gehrig, the
To
normal full foot kicker.
Riewoldt. Griffin.
Oh, that's right.
Almost threw it out to Cross. Got away with it. Cooney. Just bangs it on the boot. Harvey, a difficult one for him to grab, but he controlled it nicely. To Ricks. To Goddard. Turfs it over the top. To Fisher. Fisher to Milne. Nice build up from St Kilda. Kazitsky gets in front of White. Now props. No mark. Hargrave. Oh, intercepted. Montagna. Quick kick. Is out on the full. We had loose Saints in the goal square too.
They've just got to get this kicking the skill right, doesn't it? Just start to believe that they can actually still do this.
Harris has got a very long option on the wing if he can get it that far.
Oh, good luck.
West has to contend with Harvey. That was too much. Del Santo. West still somehow able to get it. Boyd, disposal just a fraction off. Made it tough for Murphy. Addo with him every step of the way. Lingered a fair while on the tackle. Again, Griffin goes hard. Again, he's dragged down by the Saints. And the fans are on their feet. Look at them. They're loving this.
Something will be in the coaching manual for the rest of the year, Malcolm. That one on the tape.
Oh, yes. They're very nice.
Cross, Griffin again. There's 2 of them this time. There is just no room to move for the Dogs.
And one of the reasons why, Anthony, if you do the wagon wheel coming out of defence, very few have gone down the middle. See how wide they're going? And I think that guys get sucked in because it's easier leading to the boundary than leading back into the middle. The Bulldogs are going to have to take some chances down the middle of the ground, I think.
Saints kick the first goal of this quarter, Dogs. And need to turn that around and need to do it very soon. Thompson, Clark, Hayes, Del Santo. Pretty big names through the midfield. They're going again. Space to work in. Garrick, he's within range from there. Doesn't take it on. He passes instead. Perhaps he should have had a go. Second time he might. He just might have a go from there. And he came mighty close. And Fraser's had a bit to say. Bit of a tangle with Harris.
Oh, gee.
Fraser should know better than anyone. That
G-Train has been pinged for that before. It was the
My memory serves me right. Did he get 2 weeks for that?
for an absolute tap, which should never have even gone to the tribunal.
So, are the new rules now?
Well, I think they admitted after that they were too harsh on Fraser.
Let's have a look.
This is not very smart, is it?
No. Fraser's in trouble. Street the tap, snared though by Montagna. Slick handle to Milner's run down again. Umpire let it go. McMahon. And nice kick finds Higgins.
So it's wide again. It's always wide, isn't it? Somehow they've got to find the middle of the ground here.
Griffin, long ball. Murphy.
Wide ball. Out of bounds ball.
As Luke Darcy comes back onto the ground, replacing Street.
Look, sometimes when you've played in these sort of games, and I know, you know, talking to players, you don't realise you're doing it, and it almost needs one of the senior players to say, let's take a message out. Let's try and find the middle of the ground. We're not going to score this way.
Ricks to Del Santo. Squeezes the kick out. Nice torpy in the end. To the wing. Griffin didn't get the kindness of bounces. Well played, Stephen Milne. A little bit of fancy footwork out in front of Garrick. Well played, Stephen Milne. Garrick will want to get it moving quickly. Dishes off the ground. He'll load up from 60. It's a monstrous drop punt. Magnificent football by the Saints.
Well, we talked about coming down the middle, and I don't think there's any better example than this. That you take a bit of a punt doing it, but when you're the Bulldogs, you've got to do it from behind. But this is great play down the middle, fronting on the goals, and does make it easy to kick them straight out in front.
They're handy, the halfback flankers that can come down and kick a long goal, Bloody.
Yeah, excellent.
Graham showed he could do it last year. Funny to see Baker involved in a bit of a skirmish, isn't it?
What's his marking been? I mean, those couple of marks have been fantastic. Kicked a couple of goals last week.
With Riewoldt ready to go back on the ground. We see that the matchups have returned fairly similar to how they started for the Dogs up in the Saints forward line.
What a champion. Robert Harvey.
No, Darcy.
Free kicks. The clearance has been close on this quarter. They've been going to the Saints, but the hit-outs have actually been convincingly won by the Bulldogs tonight. Hasn't transferred into clearances down forward. Murphy was the flyer. Johnson and just hanging back a bit that time, waiting for the ball to come out. Fisher, both Fishers going hard. Eagleton. And it's all Saints back there. Del Santo. In the end, the behind conceded, but look at the gap on the scoreboard, 63-24.
Oh, just clash of heads there. That's where Stephen Baker just might have split his head open.
Move it on. Play on. Play on. Play on.
So Jason Graham over to Montagna.
Hey.
To Fiora. And with all the sting at the moment out of the Bulldogs' tail. Hate to say it, but it's almost like they're going through the motions at the moment, isn't it? I mean, they just had no answers. I don't want to take any credit away from the Saints, but the Bulldogs look flat. Maybe it's just the way St Kilda have shut them down. Harris over the top to Higgins. Nathan Eagleton. He's got the short one on, and Power ignores him and goes longer to no one in particular. And consequently, the Saints get out of trouble easily. Fisher to Graham, and the Saints run in numbers to Montagna. He weighs up the options, goes short to Milne. Good track by Stephen Milne. Shrugs the tackle, and beautifully done to Gary. He gets a bit of cramp as he pulls up short. But well played, Stephen Milne, and Fraser Gehrig will line up on a slight angle, kicking from about 48 metres when he kicks.
There's that kick that was a very poor kick from Eagleton, back to the, trying to go back to the front of the square, and then the Saints just raffled it down, and their skills are better tonight.
Fraser Gehrig has 1 goal, 2 this evening. Distance not a problem. Well, having said that, he didn't make the distance, but Kazitsky's up to the task. It was a real mongrel floater. And Justin Kazitsky's claimed the mark, and it wasn't the goal square, so he will go directly in front from point-blank range.
No, he got hands.
Cameron White.
He's fine. He's got both grabs of it.
Exasperated
Back
there.
here. Back here. 5 metres. Thanks. Mark's here. 20 seconds.
So Kazitsky makes no mistake, and the Saints go further ahead at the Dome. They're well in control of this match now.
Oh.
It's play on, isn't it?
Oh. Oh, dear me.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he just got a hand to it and knocked it into the air and then grabbed it.
Yeah, I always find that, I mean, it's got to be clear for the guy behind to get paid that.
Let's have a look at this Kazitsky mark. Was it a mark? White in front.
I don't reckon the eye's good enough to see that.
Yeah, the umpire's in the best posse.
You didn't think it was a mark, Malcolm?
No.
What do you think, Anthony?
I think White was in front, and I think it's pretty tough on him, but umpire was closer than we were, Stephen. What do you think, Stephen?
I agree with you, Anthony.
What, that it was a mark, or that the
remember
umpire
what
was
I
close?
Look at Brad Johnson. No touches gone missing this quarter. Wouldn't say it's been his fault. John Syracusa, and there's Graham on his own, able to launch them forward again for Andrew Thompson and Clinton Jones. Jones is a 23-year-old. There's his lookalike, Nick Riewoldt. So good to see some mature age recruits, Blighty, getting a chance at those that have missed out the first couple of times around.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's one of those in, you know, some good competitions around Australia, in every competition, really. And the other thing about it, you know, they're going to be very, very hungry.
This is a big challenge for Rodney Eade. If this game doesn't turn around, just for the next few weeks, Blighty. I mean, massive expectations for the Bulldogs, and they would be shattered with the way they're playing right now. Minson, Gilby, Boyd. Trying to shake off Fiora, and Boyd, and now Power. There's a nice kick, Power, sets it up, and Cooney as a lead up forward. Perhaps that's an answer for them.
Well, it's funny to say that they've just put Darcy back to full forward, and, you know, Johnson's been there, but I've seen this guy lead from forward in the forward line before and does it pretty well. He's okay overhead, and he can kick a goal. They need 3.
Yeah, well, only 3 goals in the match. Quite amazing, really. This free-flowing, free-scoring team. They take them on. Risky Bulldogs. Run and reward, and boy, at the moment, they are nothing like the team we've come to know in the last 18 months. 3 goals, 8 too. nothing pretty in front of goal.
There's another thing about this too. I mean, every team's seen them play now for not quite 18 months, but you know, and you get the hang of what they're trying to do and what they do. So people just try and block their space, and you know, Rodney might just have to rethink this.
That's well played by Fisher.
Well, is there anything dramatic he can do in this game, Blighty? Or is it too late?
Oh yeah, I'm serious. Wish they go down the middle. I always think that one of the things you can actually learn, you can turn it around. I mean, we've seen it so many times in footy. All of a sudden, guys get running back through the middle of the ball. Occasional one out wide, come back to the middle, take a risk.
Hayes kick to the 50. Gian Syracuse gang tackled by a couple of Saints.
You know, perhaps put Darcy at centre half forward, get some structure back into it, and just see, play it a bit differently. Have a look. 74 disposals.
When you've only kicked 3 goals.
Yeah. Well,
Here's Cooney. Good tackle by Clark, but Cooney releases. Little underground handball by Morris is good to Boyd.
lead back to the middle.
Couple of bounces. Now Darcy's put the hand up.
In the middle. Oh, here's a go.
Can't take the mark. Doesn't look like Darcy's got the confidence to really attack the ball at the moment. Cooney with a bit of skill. Left foot kick is just to behind.
Got up with the footy at fullback. Saints in command at the Telstra Dome. Bulldogs fans, I reckon, a little stunned. A lot stunned, actually. Goddard's kick intercepted by Griffin. They're pressing here, the Dogs. A chance on the rebound. Johnson still leading strongly into the pocket. Fisher's with him. Johnson doubling back. Kick favoured Fisher. It wasn't making the job very easy at all for Brad Johnson. Graham hitting the ground running at halfback. Riewoldt's ahead of him. No one coming at him. Jones, some good protection.
He's having a dirty night wide, isn't he?
Certainly is. Brooks lets fly. Garrick tries to shake off Harris. Morris lends a hand and lends it in very professional fashion. 10-9-69 to 3-9-27.
This is what we haven't seen a lot of. This little fella getting by himself and trying to set him up. His kicking hasn't been great.
They can go through the middle here, Blythe.
Yeah, good.
Ray back to Eagleton.
And kick. I mean, the last play was good.
Little short one to Power. Darcy leads down the corridor. He's ignored. A long ball to Johnson. It might go all the way. It's a goal. No, we're giving that to Power, I assume.
I think so.
Well, the last two movements by the Bulldogs, both Cooney and now Power, have been down the middle. Here we go. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
that's
goal
over
to
the
Power.
line.
Goal to Power.
Yeah, correct.
Johnson puts the arm up.
Yeah, of course. It is actually very smart play to lead away from the goals, then lead back to the goal square many times. Johnson's actually led a fairly bit wide. They've tried to honour the lead, but that was really good team play.
6 goals in it. Rick's the tap. Minson, maybe this is a chance for the Bulldogs. Just a little bit of momentum, just a sneaky bit. A chance at the end of all this for Power to kick another one. And he's got it. Is this the start of something?
Well, it's an amazing game. That was good from Minson there. He actually had to really brace himself, tapped it on. Well played, son. And I thought we'd messed this up a bit, but just enough poise and skill to finish it.
So consecutive goals to the Bulldogs, consecutive goals to Power. Minson helped set that up. He came off nice and fired up. So is this the start of a Bulldog run? Saints led by 44. It's been cut back to 30. Kick by McQualter to half forward. In front, Mill. Well done. It's been Could this quarter, is it 50? It is. Well, that will take the sting out of the Bulldog momentum.
2 metres out.
2 metres out. The field umpires communicate. Well, that's good to see. He's had a good quarter, Milne.
No, but he's giving it this one.
Jeez.
Pretty soft. Blight sits down in disgust as Milne goals.
You've got to be careful with that, the Bulldogs.
Here we go. Tried to lead it. It was a 2-grab mark. Quite frankly, that was a 2-grab mark. And I reckon you're entitled to get... It was a free kick or mark. Didn't matter. And then we went on with it, and all that does is waste energy, but pretty tough. I still think a 2-grab mark, you're entitled to grab the bloke, because he didn't take it cleanly. I mean,
He was in the contest with him, wasn't he?
And
Wasn't
the
as if-
umpire, I mean, I know this, you shouldn't do it, but I mean, the umpire's got to be smarter than that. It's a 2-grab mark.
Well, it's effective for the Saints anyway. We'll let Blunt, this little bit of run, this little bit of dash for the Bulldogs. McMahon, Darcy full-chested.
I don't think anyone in the world will argue with that one, Malcolm.
Jace can't touch his back.
Except
You know the
Jason
rule.
Blake.
Hey, is that 3 attacks down the middle of the ground, the
I
Bulldogs?
think you're right.
That's, unfortunately, that is a free kick.
Darcy made sure the umpire saw it, but one of the new rules is that if you just touch him there, it's a free kick anyway, Melbourne.
Yes.
So Luke Darcy hasn't troubled the scorers tonight, hasn't troubled the stats men too much either, but he's working his way back into form. Kicked 1 goal so far this year. This is a big kick for him, a big kick for the Bulldogs, and their chances tonight back to a 5-goal game.
Well, just one more. I mean, you know, the Saints deserved their lead and then played very well for most of the night. The Bulldogs have kicked 3 of the last 4 goals. One more, 4 out of 5. Just starts to put a bit of pressure on the scoreboard. And no matter who you are, you actually start to see it and feel it.
Luke Darcy kicks his 2nd goal for the season. And the Saints lead by 30. There's still a chance for the Dogs. This is Del Santo. Broke the tackle and found some room to move and bangs it long. A couple of Bulldogs spoil each other and then Hargraves stayed down. Now McMahon, who's had plenty of it, 21 times, now 22. To Hargrave, he's got West on short. And his kick finds Addison. Now Murphy,
Come back 2 minutes, quickly. Thank you.
who, like Luke Darcy, is just working his way back into football after a knee reconstruction. Johnson is a long way from home. Gian Siracusa. Harvey stripped to the ball. Umpire let it go. Fisher to his namesake. Good handball over to McQualter. As Fisher ends up in the Bulldogs dugout. McQualter in 2 minds. Now he kicks. And he does it well to Milne. He's got Kazitsky loose. Should go to him. And Kazitsky takes the mark. Well done, Stephen Milne. He's set up quite a few this quarter. Helped set up quite a few for the Saints, Stephen Milne.
Yes, he has. And I'd have to say, Brad Johnson's kick to the boundary line when the last 3 or 4 attacks have been down the middle. I'm sorry to be a repeat, but it's a no-brainer for the St Kilda team.
Marks inside 50, 15-8 in favour of the Saints. Justin Kazitsky, he's kicked 2 goals, 1. It's an ugly-looking kick.
It's interesting. You know, the ground was just—it's the best I've ever seen this ground. It is absolutely perfect for footy.
And yet,
seven goal kicking.
7 goals, 7 from set shots. The Saints, 4 goals, 5 the Dogs.
No, he stepped over the line, Hargrave.
Sorry, mate, on the line.
And he's not arguing the point. There's no point anyway, is there?
No, you just wait. Oh, hang on. He's on the line out.
Yes. You're not allowed to have anything over the line. You've got to have something behind it, I think. That makes sense. Ricks. It's still dangerous. Jones, Riewoldt.
Now that is unforgivable, isn't it?
Sure.
We'll just have a look at this again. Here's this ball up, and Riewoldt standing by himself in the goal square on the goalward side. Pretty unusual. Listen, I'd like to know how the umpire saw it from the angle he was standing, and the guy had his foot on the line inside the centre square. Pretty good eyes.
Will Midson, high ball inside 50. Back of the pack lurking is Johnson. Oh, good little tap, but Murphy, who's really out of sorts, just fresh aired it. Now Blake, kick partially smothered. And Robert Murphy just needs football.
Look at this. Look at this. How could the umpire, he's standing out in front of the goal square, how could he actually see from that angle? He'd have to be standing in the back pocket to see that. He's got the best eye. Seriously, he's Superman. Who was he? Where is he?
West. Baker over the top of it. Still in play, Goddard. And the Saints now out of trouble. A long ball to the wing. Hargrave missed the mark. Well played by Ricks. Now picked up by Fiora. Will get onto that left. Decides to handball in the end. Back to Ricks. Sloppy handball to Harvey. Through the head back. We got the free kick. Just talking about Robert Murphy, Malcolm. He just needs footy, doesn't he? You just got to persevere.
Yeah, you do.
Interference.
Sadly, they've had two in their forward line, both Darson and Murphy. Both need a bit of footy. Yeah, the decision really... Well, we'll just wait and see this unfold.
Fiora goes along, Darcy in good shape there, and he's going to get a free. And they move it quickly, so maybe they can swing it in. No, Hargrave happy to go out wide, and this is where some of their troubles have started.
Look in the middle.
Forced Brad Johnson to lead wide to the flank. Now Murphy's got some problems. Tough for Morris here. Really got no help at all. Murphy, that wasn't a bad kick. Higgins had to wait though. And from then on, the job was well and truly ahead of him.
Let's go back to this umpire thing, boys. Here's the umpire, right? He has seen that he is stood on the line from that angle. What would that be? 25 metres, 20 metres?
He's probably
pretty good eyes.
1 foot has to be behind any of the lines when he kicks it. That's the rule.
I'll go back to my Superman theory.
Addison, Eagleton and West. Guess who on the end of it? Brad Johnson trying to pump things up again. There's a vacant square. He saw that. He also saw Higgins doubling back. What he didn't count on was his poor kicking. He doesn't seem too happy, Brad.
No.
3 goals, 3 for Brad Johnson tonight. They've got 30 seconds here. Boyd, it was clever. Johnson for his 4th. Boyd. Darcy, the jumper was tugged just for a moment. Superman didn't see it, and it's through for a behind. 12-10 plays 6-10.
So we wind down the clock for three-quarter time as a couple more bounces for Jason Graham. So it's a 6-goal game at three-quarter time. Any chance the Dogs, Malcolm Blight?
Well, normally you'd say a 6-goal. They've got to kick 7 goals to win it. Not impossible, highly unlikely the way they're playing, but there were a few more positive signs.
I'll be looking for the early goal of Saints.
And guess what? Gilby looks as though he's going to go into Milne.
Yep. Looking for the early goal of Saints just to put this game beyond any shadow.
Oh, big jump.
Big jump by Minson. Del Santo puts St Kilda immediately into attack. And there's the man we're talking about, Lindsay Gilby.
50, 50.
And he's got a 50 for being hung on to.
Can't hold him.
The difference between that one and the one we saw earlier was a clean grab.
Come on.
So that's the rule.
Don't go forward. Play on.
Gilby out wide.
Now this is where he's got to play on and come back through the middle.
Hargrave does just that. Long kick, but resolute in defence. There's Sam Fisher, who's had a very good game. Strong overhead.
Almost picked him out, didn't he?
Kicks towards Kazitsky. Doing the raving was Thompson. The old timers in this St Kilda team. Thompson 34. Harvey's 35.
Hey, look, it's their time, isn't it?
Hanging on for that premiership dream.
Yeah, Fraser's 30-something.
Fraser Gehrig is 31.
Aaron Hamill obviously not playing, but I think he's closing in on 30 or thereabouts. So they're right. They're cherry ripe, aren't they, as a team?
And there he is, Andrew Thompson, best and fairest back in 2000. Taken in a bargain, really. Picked 62 back in 1996.
Heads to half forward. Riewoldt taken right at the top of the draft. Minson and Clark holding the ball.
Dives on it. Up we get. Will, you've got the kick. You've got the kick. Up you get. Come on. Give him the footy now.
Here's another look. Was it a dive on it? He dragged it, and then the onus is on you to get rid of it, and he wasn't able to do that. Oh, again, poor disposal out of defence. Thompson was there to take the contact, but the Dogs are going to get it clear. Through the middle they go. Cross puts his head down to have a bounce. He's got West away, but he's more direct. Johnson's there from the side. White's turned into an attacker. At least he created a contest, and it gives the forwards an opportunity. Power has dived on it here, but he did knock it loose. And it's a ball up.
Andrew Thompson's still down behind play. He just got a really big knock in the breadbasket. A round arm from Harris.
Just must have got him in the solar plexus there, because it wasn't. Yeah, that's trying to suck it in.
Graham, it was a hurried kick. Cross not quite within range. He was pretty cute, not far enough. Said the umpire. Cooney with an opportunity, a big one to try and get the Dogs, try and generate something for them.
Yes, it wasn't a pretty good call from the umpire there, in all fairness, and then a nice finish from Cooney. But the first one, all important.
Yeah.
Just need 3 in a row. You always feel the heat after 3, I reckon.
Adam Cooney gets the all-important first goal of the last quarter. They're not without a chance, the Dogs. It's 30 points of difference as Thompson has a break after that heavy hit in the midriff. Baker, quick kick. West is there, tries to soccer unsuccessfully. Fired out by John Siracusa. Now cross. Out to Boyd. A long ball inside 50. Darcy wrestled his way to the front. It was fisted away. We're going to throw it in the Dogs' forward pocket.
They're just looking a bit more like it, Malcolm.
Well, I know they haven't got the ball every time it's been down there, but all of a sudden the defence is under pressure, you know, not getting easy kicks and peeling off. You're not going to get them all.
Fisher watching Johnson at the front of the pack. He gets onto it, just. Had 2 to beat again, Brad Johnson, so the odds have been against him. 3 goals, 4.
Oh, Jesus, 2 hands at the back. They've huddled.
Yeah, they have. And break now with Goddard.
Mark's fine there.
Look at Harvey just running.
Been doing that all night. He's been doing that for about 20 years, Blighty. Montagna. Ray was involved, so was Ricks. Intensity's gone up from the Bulldogs. They're breaking even now at the contested footy. But St Kilda have that very, very handy lead. Just under 5 goals. Still the rotations go. Eagleton just slips back onto the ground as West and Harvey link up again. The ruckman tangle. Minson with a tap. It was a good-looking tap. Gives him a chance to run on. Griffin, Baker, Fiora. Look at all that space. He's relishing the space on the wing, and why wouldn't he? Had time to go to his left. Maybe one step too many. Clark was able to just get enough going. It's been decked after he kicked it. Downfield. Goal on the plate for Nick Riewoldt.
It was downfield. Ready? Yeah, downfield.
Well,
Downfield, mate.
It's a free kick.
I would have thought that was from where he kicked it, isn't it? It's only if it's after you kick it that it's a downfield free.
I don't think it would have changed the game at all.
Riewoldt took the mark and puts it through.
I just think, I mean, it's a good chase from the big fella, but it's a push in the back, probably as he kicked it, and it's fallen for a St Kilda player. I reckon pretty good call. You think?
Not sure, Malcolm.
Okay.
In other words, no.
Great comeback game from Nick Riewoldt. 10 disposals, 7 marks, 4 goals, 2. And that's the goal the Saints wanted early in the piece in this final term. That should be enough. Cross sweeps it to Boyd. Over to Harris. Looking again for Johnson. They're pretty one-dimensional, the Dogs, when they go forward. Johnson again. Great handball out to Eagleton, and he wobbles a pass to Power, who will line up for his third.
For the last time, doesn't it look better when they play that way? You can have one kick out wide. As soon as you start getting too many kicks, I mean, things seem to go lucky for you when you actually play corridor football. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's easy to kick goals from the front than from pockets.
Sam Power directly in front. Stabs at the ball and misses.
And occasionally it's nice to kick points.
(7-12 to 13-10). Graham's escaped from full back.
Look at this.
Absolutely no one came at him. No one on the mark. Bulldog-esque this. From full back, he's got it to half forward. Fiora. And Griffin tumbling. 12 possessions for Fiora tonight. Griffin, quiet night. Just 10.
Don't hold, Will. Just go up for it. Thanks.
How's this for a stat, boys? Saints have had 33 running bounces to the Dogs 13, and Graham's had 15, more than the entire Dogs team.
Amazing, isn't it? McMahon. Gee, had the audacity to have a bounce. Haven't seen many, as Quarters is saying. There's 3 to add to the list. Suddenly in the centre, and suddenly it's up forward. Can Darcy handle it? No. Numbers prevailing again.
Here we go again.
Can have some more. 16 for Harvey.
He collects on the wing. He's got plenty of support. Dishes off to Fiora. Now what's he going to do with it? He goes the long option to the tip of the goal square, and the Dogs concede behind.
Rightio. I haven't seen this stat yet, but I'm going to start watching footy and looking for it. If you can follow the interchanges, how many goals are caused by all these rotations? Because Harvey's actually come off the bench then, I thought, and gets a touch. How many times has that happened?
Get back to you as Cross goes into the middle. White again. Not the one Graham handling. Graham shows him how to do it. Through the middle, Jason Graham. setting the Telstra Dome alight. Help from Clark. Out for Riewoldt. He had the judgment all the way. His twin comes in. Clinton Jones doesn't try and go for goal himself. The old man Harvey doesn't either. Justin Gazitsky will line up. And this is a mighty performance by the Saints. Another casualty for the Bulldogs in the middle.
Right.
And you can't afford that. Their tall defenders are far too valuable.
Got punched in the neck, didn't he?
Harvey comes off after setting up another goal.
Yeah, just Barry, while we've got this quiet, I just wonder when someone's going to realise with all the changes you make, I wonder how many goals it does cost. I wonder if the clubs know that. I'd be fascinated to know. I mean, it's hard to follow. You need to see the timesheet and when the goals were scored.
So Justin Gazitsky kicked it very hard and into the post. The players not playing. Oh, here's another look at the incident.
Ooh, play on.
Murphy.
This is a smart move here by Rodney Eade. That's what I do. Put him behind the ball now.
Yep.
Just let him get some easy, you know, some, well, not easy touches, but touches.
To Gian Siracusa, who, as I said earlier in the game, got stitched up friendly fire at training on Wednesday night from Scott West and ended up with 8 stitches over the eye, well, under the eye, in fact. Goes long inside 50. Fisher to Goddard, who doubles back. Out to Hayes. Another player on the ground tonight coming back from a knee reconstruction. That's what some Kilda supporters like to see. Hayes long to Gehrig. Harris has been pretty good, Malcolm, against the big G train. What do you think?
Yeah, look, they haven't been the ball a lot.
Here's some of the players that the Saints fans can look forward to coming back. Ball, Hamill, Maguire, Hutchton, Gardner, Raf Clark, Matthew Clark. It's a long list. It's a good performance tonight.
Will we see Hamill again, though? That's the big question. We hope so.
Well, Lenny Hayes only played 42 minutes out of 100 tonight, so he hasn't had a big influence. And Fraser Gehrig's just kicked 1 goal too. Played a part, but not a massive role.
Graham, who's been one of the best.
Here we go. He's going to get it again in a minute. No, he didn't.
Blake. His kick finds McQualter. Now Goddard. This will be his 20th disposal. Blake to Baker. So a lull on the game at the moment as he goes out wide. No one within Cui.
They've really dictated the pace of the game, haven't they? Yeah, most of the time.
So Addo does as he pleases. That's a poor result given all the time he had to decide what to do with it. Turnover. Addison stripped of the ball. Saints get it back. Hayes. Here he goes again. Lenny Hayes into the pocket. Couldn't find Gehrig. Well played by Harris. Almost threw it out to Boyd, who runs into Hayes. Montagna to Gehrig. Quick snap. Cut off by Gilby. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs on the rebound. West. Higgins should just go. We'll receive from West in a minute. Well, Willie, no, he decides to go inboard instead into the corridor. Higgins is still out wide. Cross was in 2 minds. Now Darcy. Luke Darcy. And it's an interesting kick. And in the end, it's found its target in Attard. I beg your pardon, in Addison.
Sorry?
Don't say it, Malcolm.
No?
No.
Didn't like that, Malcolm?
No, I could just feel Blighty's frustration when they refused to get the ball into the middle corridor.
So the kick on its way. It's not a bad roost. It's home. Great kick from young Dylan Addison.
Well, we're back to that 5-goal margin that we started the quarter at, and well, virtually.
First goal in league footy too, to Dylan Addison.
It was a pretty good kick in the end from Luke Darcy. Just he realised that 2 defenders had peeled off alongside Johnson, so he'd actually been smart with the kick and went wider, but out in front of goal.
First goal in league footy to Dylan Addison, game number 3.
Comes from St George, New South Wales, ACT under-18s as well. Their streak getting dacked in the middle. Big cracks appearing for the Bulldogs tonight. 30 points the difference at the moment, 13-12 to 8-12 West. Chris Grant, Blighty, he's out for a while.
Yep.
How big a loss is he for the Dogs in their structure?
Yeah, talking with Stephen before the game, I thought that he was the one guy that might have just helped down the back. Obviously you can't, so it's pointless talking about it probably, but I mean he was one that could do that role last year.
Morris outbodying Clark there, but Milne was desperate, and that paid off. Slip work, McWalter, Clark. There's a loose man in the pocket, and it's Montagna with a mark that was paid, and Milne gets a freebie. And he'll enjoy it too, and so will the Saints fans.
Stephen just said hello to the cheer squad after that goal. Anthony, if you hadn't guessed already.
Let's have a look. Mark was paid.
Well, Stephen Milne just had a little chat to the cheer squad after he kicked that goal, the Bulldogs cheer squad.
Wasn't quite Michael O'Loughlin, was it? But it was, it was close.
I think it was just as effective, though. He's got the blood going down behind the goals. It's the Saints again, out by 6 goals, that is. Quick kick by Baker, who's been excellent for the Saints. Lenny Hayes. Stripped of the footy, but Saints have numbers around the ball. McQualter out to Baker. This is disposal number 23. Back to Fisher. That's Lee Fisher. Again back to Baker. And now Thompson. To half forward, looking for Gehrig, who's wrestling with Harris. Fiora. Quick left foot snap is offline. Got pushed. He's got the free kick. And all the sting out of this game now. There's Aaron Fiora. Will line up for his first for the night. What's he got tonight, possession-wise? He's 14, averaging 23 in the first 2 weeks. Already notched 3 goals this season. So this is for goal number 4 for the season. And he's missed.
Do you think, Malcolm, that other teams have, as you sort of hinted at, is it more a case of tactics that are cutting the Bulldogs down, or is it just them not playing well?
I think it's always both. I mean, you've always got to play an opposition, but it's also the confidence of the team. Just looking at Murphy, he'll be confident out of this. Lenny Hayes is starting to get some kicks, so that's 2 good signs for both teams.
Cross goes for Cooney. Could only get the one arm free, and Allard wins the day. Some help from Goddard. And he's got Kosicki working hard for him in defence. Blake's away on the wing, but he's going to go by inches instead for Baker. Been a good warrior for them tonight, Blighty.
Absolutely.
Had McWalter, but again, goes for the longer option. And moving it well. There's Blake. He's powered on from half-back to run to half-forward to be the man to go through. Fraser Gehrig, we mentioned, has been pretty quiet. He's back in the square. Montagna's there. Milne's also back deep, with Gilby watching him carefully. Most of the Dogs in their defensive half, hence what we're seeing right now. Brendan Goddard, 21 possessions. Goes for Gehrig.
Oh, big fly.
Everyone going for the lead. Look at Milne. Didn't give it off. He still thought he could go himself. Overwhelmed in the end. Harris, quick clearance. At least it was direct. Just out of Boyd's reach. Hayes, as we said, getting better. Goddard for Baker. And Clinton Jones has got away again.
It seems to be a game, Malcolm.
Been a bit quieter in the second half, but
Yeah, no, look, he has been, but what he was particularly early. Don't forget, I mean, we've got to think about early now, don't we? Because just when the game was broken open, he was very, very lively. Yeah, was.
Best and fairest at South Fremantle the last 2 seasons. 3rd in last year's Sandover. Taken pick 9 in the rookie draft.
It's been a great. The rookie draft's been fantastic, hasn't it?
Something the Saints haven't done a lot of in recent years, promoting rookies, as Jones delivers a goal. Well done. A goal with his 7th kick in league football.
First goal in league football to Clinton Jones. Here's a stat for you, boys. Since statistics have been taken on running bounces, that man, Jason Graham, holds a record at 19. Tonight he's got 17.
Oh, world record. Can we?
3 for the world record.
It's exciting,
Well,
isn't it?
hang ahead on something.
Yeah, of course.
3 for the world record.
Give you another stat in a moment.
Long ball inside the Saints 50.
Since the
No,
start
the
of
Dogs 50, rather.
Since the start of 2004, the Saints have won 29 and lost 7 here at the Dome. Pretty imposing record, isn't it?
It is, and I did pick him tonight, Anthony.
You did, yes.
Yes, and
Yeah, I didn't.
6 out of the last 7, I think they've won. It's just the bogey side for the Bulldogs at the moment.
Fura.
I've got to give away this magnificent TV later on, don't I?
Someone's going to be pretty happy. There's Graham.
Well, I reckon there's.
Give us 5.
5. I reckon Graham would be 1. I reckon Baker, Riewoldt, 4 goals, and
Oh, you already have 6 plasmas at home, Malcolm.
No. And
LCD,
I reckon
Steve.
Robert
LCD,
Harvey.
sorry.
Robert Harvey was sensational early for the amount of time he spent on the ground. He's been as good as anyone, Robert Harvey. Baker, Riewoldt, Graham, and probably the next one, Westy. I think Westy's been okay. Done his bits and pieces for the Bulldogs.
Clomp. Beautiful LCD.
And I'll tell you what, Nick Dalsano in the second half when he's been on the ball has been good.
Worth $5,000. Not to be sneezed at.
It is. There's been no dominant four-quarter player. That's true.
Free kick going St Kilda's way. Play on call. Lenny Hayes looks for Dal Santo. Little Joe the Goose over the top. And Milne's going to get another. What will he say to the cheer squad this time? Just gives them a stare. He's been good in the second half, Stephen Milne.
Yeah, well, it's been down there a fair bit. I suppose eventually you're going to get some, but geez, that's tough, isn't it? That is tough.
Been a pretty even contribution by the Saints. Milne and Brooks, the only 2 players under 10 possessions, and Milne's had 8 and Brooks has had 7. Doggies fans leaving it. They better hope their team doesn't make a comeback, because once you leave the Telstra Dome, you can't come back in.
Might be going out for a chicken burger.
You can't come back.
Saints by plenty. 49 to be precise.
Oh, he's having a purple patch. Good for confidence.
Yep, in this last quarter he's had plenty of it. Goddard. Out wide to Harvey. Short, and Jones is marked. So Clinton Jones is going to be kicking from right on 50. Gives it off to Goddard, who, as we know, is a thumping kick. He unloads a monster. It's across the face.
Let's see what's ahead for the Western Bulldogs. trailing tonight by 49. They've got the Tigers. It's a big Friday night game now, isn't it, for them? Against the Tigers, then the Hawks quarters. No comment, then the Eagles and the Demons.
Stephen Milne for another one. He's got 3. Oh, bounces the wrong way. Well, the next 2 weeks aren't bad for the Dogs.
Well, they beat the Tigers, Malcolm.
The Tigers have been interesting, haven't they? They've been in front for the majority of the last 3 games and fallen over. So
there's a bit on the line next Friday.
Well, there is, isn't there? Yeah, well, there always is, I suppose, but particularly at this early stage.
McMahon to the wing. Thompson battling on despite copping that blow earlier. Cross going across the shoulders. Play on. Well done again by Thompson. Here's McMahon with McGraw to negotiate, and he went straight for the boundary.
The other talking point tonight, I guess, is the incident with Garrick on Harris.
I wonder whether he'll be available for their match against Essendon. What a game that is going to be.
Beauty now.
It's next Saturday afternoon. Looking forward to that one. It'll be a big one, as Malcolm said, as they all are. Del Santo pokes it into the pocket, and Blake takes the mark. He might have hurt himself, maybe just some cramp.
What do you think, Malcolm? Will Fraser be playing next week?
I think it'll give us a fair old line on what the new matchy tribunal-y type thingy coming. What do you call it?
Here we go. Let's have a look.
Panel.
Well, the fist was clenched and it was off the ball.
Behind play won't help in the points. If they do decide that it's reportable, that's the thing they've got to basically decide. Is that a reportable offence? If it is, then he'll possibly get enough points to make himself get in trouble. Blake. What a night it's been for the Saints. That's 17 goals in all.
This is, I think the most fascinating thing about this is that their skill hasn't been great, but there's a bit of stopwish.
Great effort by Thompson there, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
sure. But there's a bit of stopwish in this, that when the scoreboard starts to go like this, you know that not everybody in the whole team, the Bulldogs I'm talking about, is actually putting in here.
Well, this is an emphatic victory now for St Kilda. 56 points. Very impressive as Kazitsky has a bit of work on those legs.
Good knock.
Quick kick by Cross. The good thing is, I hate to say it before the siren sounds, that everyone's got through unscathed. Kazitsky, Riewoldt, Darcy, Murphy, Hayes, which is good to see.
Here we go. Well, record bouncing. Bounce it.
So Graham, 17 bounces tonight. Here we go. All right, decides to kick. Here's Milne. Can he weave some magic? Gets past 1, gets past 2. Now the little left foot kick is pretty clever, just not quite marked by Ricks. Hargrave to West. How many for West? This is 29. Gilby in his 100th game has been quiet. Jordan McMahon's had plenty of it. This is 25.
Oh.
And that's got to be in the back. And the free kick going to John Siracusa.
Well, the Saints are still on the job because in front of him are a lot of St Kilda players. They're pushed down again. Have a look at them all. So, making it very difficult.
Kicks in the Johnson direction. Goddard with the big fist. Cooney. Tough from there. Turns it round the corner. And that is a wonderful goal, is it, to Cooney? It is. That's a great goal. Adam Cooney has kicked his second, and he has battled hard. Nice goal from the angle. It's Cooney's stats tonight. Well, he's been quiet, I guess, for output. That's his 14th disposal. Nice snap. Second goal for the night for Adam Cooney.
Yes, I think he's just still learning the game, isn't he? I mean, still a young fella in some ways, and
he's
forward on ball.
21 now.
Yeah.
Another big night of footy at the Dome, 38,474. Few have left, a few of the Dogs fans, but the Saints staying to savour another win here.
And you must say that pretty interesting week at the Bulldogs. The first time you get belted's okay. The second time, you really need to start thinking about what's going wrong.
Margin at 50. Here's Milne, who's ready to go to work one more time. Give it away the free this time to Hargrave, who had his hands full early with Riewoldt.
Play on.
The agony is over for the Western Bulldogs, but the Saints under Ross Lyon, Stephen Milne, just one of the multiple goal kickers tonight. 3 goals for Milne, got 26 possessions in defence, and they've got home by 50 points.